Hey everyone, Mark Hessman here, host of On the Mark on News Talk 1070 KHMO and the KHMO app. Thanks for joining us again on the weekly Wednesday video update. The NFL draft, the dust has settled, and I feel like not enough people are being extremely critical of one team, and that's what I want to touch on today. Something I will touch on my show on Saturday, but I wanted to spend this time here and do a video with it, the midweek update. Everyone after the draft, all the talk is Atlanta Falcons, Atlanta Falcons, Atlanta Falcons. How could they draft Michael Penix Jr.? Can I just quickly say, I feel like Michael Penix Jr. is a guy that he's actually in a really, really solid situation. If you're an NFL rookie quarterback and you're telling me I could end up in a team like, Washington with like one weapon in Terry McLaurin, or I can end up in Atlanta with Pitts, with Bijan Robinson, with an emerging offensive line, with Drake London, with a defense that's young and getting better in that division that is completely wide open. I'm not completely here hating on Atlanta taking Michael Penix Jr. I actually think there was a much worse move made in the first round of the NFL draft, and it was made by the Denver Broncos. I don't understand what the Denver Broncos are doing at all. Taking Bo Nix, the sixth quarterback in the draft, off the board at number 12, to me, reeks of Sean Payton cocky arrogance. It reeks of desperation, and it makes no sense. You're in a division with Patrick Mahomes, 3-time Super Bowl champion, MVP, league MVP, Andy Reid, a dynasty, an absolute dynasty that's not going anywhere. You're in a division now with Justin Herbert, who is an untapped, incredible potential quarterback. Maybe if he gets everything in place, has the only person capable of dethroning Mahomes as being like, that's the guy in the NFL. And he just got an absolute superstar head coach who's going to rebuild this team in a different image to support Justin Herbert in a way he's never been supported before. And you're looking up at that. You're looking up at how do we get past the Chargers and how do we get past the reigning dynasty in the NFL. And you think, oh, I know what I'll do. I'll draft Bo Nix, 12th overall. When you have so many other holes and so many other needs, I don't understand this at all. Sean Payton's best hope with Bo Nix is he can become Kirk Cousins, right? He's not becoming Drew Brees. Stop that. The whole he was accurate like Drew Brees. No wonder he was accurate in college. He's been in college for a decade. And I don't think Bo Nix will end up being trash or be bad. But how can you sit there and say to yourself, we feel good as the Denver Broncos going into the next couple years where you have to commit this year to Bo Nix, at least you used a first round pick on him. Denver could be a 4-win, 5-win team with that roster of Bo Nix and Zach Wilson. And then you're in the spot where maybe you have a chance to draft the number 1 overall quarterback next year, but you're in that awkward, do we, don't we? We just used a pick on a quarterback last year. We're going to use a pick on a quarterback again. This is just a dumbfounding mood, and I don't know why more people in the sports world landscape aren't being more critical of Denver. Best case scenario for Denver, he hits and he's Kirk Cousins-esque. So you're battling consistently for second or third in that division over the next 5-6 years. I don't see it. I will make this proclamation right now. I think the Raiders are in a better spot to make the playoffs over the next 3 years than the Denver Broncos. I firmly believe that. Why don't I believe the Raiders could make the playoffs this year over the Broncos? They have Gardner Minshew, who almost led an Indianapolis Colts team with less talent on offense to the playoffs in the AFC. Why can't he lead the Raiders to an almost playoff berth in the AFC this year with a really good head coach who we believe in is turning the program around in Antonio Pierce, with those weapons, with the 2 tight ends, Devontae Adams, an emerging offensive line in Vegas. Now, listen, I'm not making the case. I'm not going to sit here and put like I'm making the Raiders to make the playoffs. That's not what I'm saying. But what does Bo Nix have? Your only argument is, well, he has Sean Payton. Well, great. Well, we saw Sean Payton with Russell Wilson. Wasn't that great? And now you bring in a kid in Bo Nix who's got a ton of pressure, first-round pick, to live up to that billing, and Sean Payton, and you hope his ceiling is he can win you 6, 7 games maybe next year in the AFC West. I don't see it at all. I don't think the Broncos are making the playoffs for the next 5 years. I don't know if Sean Payton will make the playoffs with the Broncos as in his tenure as head coach of the Broncos. And if you're Sean Payton, this is so dumb. You have the currency and the legacy to be able to go to ownership and to go to the fans and say, listen, we're going to tank this year. We're going to start Zach Wilson for 17 games, and we're going to tank. And you don't draft a quarterback. You just draft the best player available, like, I don't know, a Brock Bowers when he was available to you to pick, and you just try to add some talent, and you get really bad, and you win 3 or 4 games, and you go take the number 1 quarterback in next year's draft, a guy with potential to actually live up to being someone who could compete with Mahomes, compete with Herbert. I don't know who that guy's going to be, but there'll be someone who emerges in college football as the number 1 overall quarterback in the draft. And you roll with him and Sean Payton in the going years after that, or you're really bad and Sean Payton, though, gets another top pick. You add some free agents and you can attract the best available free agent quarterback to your division because, hey, it's Sean Payton. If Sean Payton misses with Bo Nix, his career now in the Drew Brees split with Brady and Belichick. Brady won the divorce, right? Because Brady went off somewhere else and won. Belichick has completely lost the divorce. Sean Payton is about to really, really lose the divorce. In the years, even with Drew Brees, there was a lot of 7-9 Saints years where they underperformed. Yeah, he threw for 5,000 yards, but was it winning football? And now in the post Sean Payton and Drew Brees world, Sean Payton has done very little with the Saints after Drew Brees, and now has been utterly ugly with the Denver Broncos, and now his hopes rely on making Bo Nix work? Broncos fans, are you fired up? Are you excited? I can't imagine you are. Let me know in the comments below, Broncos fans. Am I crazy to be this critical of the Broncos and Bo Nix? I don't think so. I think it was a dumb decision. I think, if anything, they should have taken a flyer quarterback in the 4th or 5th round and just say, oh, Sean Payton can maybe make this guy work. You should have gone in the tank this year, but now you may be in the tank anyways, and then you'll be in that awkward position of, do we draft another quarterback again and we just wasted a 1st-round pick? And by that time, trading Bo Nix, you'd be lucky if you got a 4th or 5th rounder in return for him. I think it was a disaster from the Denver Broncos. People are being way too critical on the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, I don't love the move from the Falcons. I wish they would have just gone and got a player, help Kirk Cousins win now, and then draft a quarterback in the future. But for the Broncos to be sitting there and being Sean Payton smiling like he fleeced the draft and I got Bo Nix at number 12, Broncos country, let's ride. Good luck. I don't believe in the pick at all, and I think the Broncos, I don't predict them to make the playoffs once over the next 5 years. That's a bold statement, and I'm willing to stand by it. Tune in every Saturday morning on the Mark News Talk 1070 KHMO, the KHMO app, brought to you by Kunis Honda Hyundai. Follow me, as always, on all social media, at Mark Hespin, here on YouTube. Like and subscribe, all those things. And then on Twitter/X, at Mark Hespin, Instagram, at Mark Hespin. Follow the show on the Mark KHMO on Facebook. See you on Saturday morning.